Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. And all this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, yeah, yeah, yeah. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. And all this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. One more time, something wonderful. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
Yes, please be seated. Yeah. Something wonderful is happening right now as we open to the activity of Spirit within. Amen?
Amen.
Yes, indeed. So welcome to Unity of Hagerstown, my friends. It's so good to see each and every one of you. And for those of you who joined us virtually, I'm so grateful that you have joined us. And whether you're watching on YouTube or live stream on Facebook, we're glad that you're part of this community. So we begin with our opening prayer. Let's take a moment to take a breath and center ourselves, allowing that stillness to come forth, allowing our minds to calm, our bodies to relax. We open our hearts to this moment, this wonderful, precious moment. We know that we are forever connected in love, connected in spirit. So as we go through this service, let's set the intention to be open to wonderful things today. I am open to wonderful things today. And we know that as we proclaim it, so it is. Amen. And now if you'll join me in our, that's not the mission statement. We are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and today we have a quote from Dolores Huerta. Every moment is an organizing opportunity. Every person a potential activist. Every minute a chance to change the world. I love that. And now, this is how Unity of Hagerstown changes the world with our mission. Let's join together. Unity of Hagerstown, a welcoming community, embraces spiritual awakening through affirmative prayer and meditation, creating a positive path for abundant living for all. And now we'll have the reading of the Daily Word with Sharon Bender. And as she makes her way forward, I just wanted to remind you, if you're not familiar with the Daily Word, it is an inspirational reading material that you can get in hard copy or in your email inbox. And it's a great way to start the morning.
Good morning.
Close to the mic.
Okay. The daily word for today is kindness. This is Sunday, October 2nd. Kindness is the language of my heart. Think about that. I set the intention today to give from my heart, to show compassion and kindness to everyone I meet. I begin by being kind to myself. I take time for spiritual self-care and prioritize good nutrition, relaxation, and exercise. I am gentle with myself when I come up short, filling my self-talk with words of affirmation and compassion. Being kind to myself makes being kind to others easy and natural. I am patient and understanding, and I seek harmony and accord in my relationships. I let the small irritations go, remaining calm and pleasant. I look for ways to lighten the load of others and don't hesitate to offer a helping hand. My kindness helps create the kingdom of heaven on earth. And from the scripture, for I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. That's from Matthew 25:35. The word for today is kindness.
Thank you, Sharon. Let's go ahead and join together in the affirmation on the screen. Together, kindness is the language of my heart. And I'm going to invite you to place your hands over your heart if you like, and let's say it again. Just really take that in. Kindness is the language of my heart. And so it is. And now we have a song with Brent and Patty.
And you're welcome to stand on this.
You want us to stand on it? Okay.
You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, and you see what you believe. So give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. You've got to be the love if you want to see the love. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, and you see what you believe. So give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Don't tell me that your life is a desert. Somebody's got to quench your thirst. You can dance, you can pray for the water, but you gotta get your head straight first. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. You've got to be the light if you want to see the light. Because you reap what you sow, you meet what you know, and you see what you believe. Give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. Yeah, give a little bit of that good thing if you want to receive. All right, here's where we can move. Snap your fingers, clap your hands. Feel that good thing just flowing right through you. And join me. This is what we're going to sing. Give a little bit, give a little bit, give a little bit of that good, good thing. We can handle that. Let's sing it. Give a little bit, give a little bit, give a little bit of that good, good thing. Yeah, yeah. Give a little bit, give a little bit, give a little bit of that good, good thing. 'Cause it feels so good now. Give a little bit, give a little bit, give a little bit of that good, good thing. One more time. Give a little bit, give a little bit, give a little bit of that good, good thing. Then you're gonna receive.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Whew. So we are ending our prosperity series today. We've been talking about prosperity, knowing that it is more than just financial. It covers every aspect of our being, whether that's health, relationships, whatever. You know, when we're in the flow of prosperity, it is affecting everything in our lives. So this is our last Sunday for prosperity, but the focus may have been in previous weeks on how to receive, but that's only half the story. So today we're going to look at the other half, and that's how and why we should give. So let's be clear. Just as prosperity covers every aspect of our being, giving does too. Giving is a way of life. Giving is a consciousness. It is an attitude in which we are able to show the love that we feel to others, the love that we feel for ourselves, the love that we feel to this beautiful planet. We give. We give. So we know that life is lived from the inside out. In other words, our thoughts, our feelings, our vibration is determining our life's experience. So our giving begins on the inside as well. We can go through the motions of giving, of volunteering, or whatever, but if we're not doing it with a cheerful heart, it's not really putting us in that flow. So our elder brother tells us to consider the lilies of the field. And most of us look at that verse and think of how we're being taken care of, how we're provided for. But there's another part of that verse that we can consider when we think of the lilies of the field as they grow from a bulb to a stalk to a bloom. There is a natural progression. And then they decompose and give back to the earth. So this is also a part, kind of a metaphor for our own spiritual unfolding. We grow in understanding until we're at that giving consciousness as well. We unfold ideas from the inner to the outer, as said, and those ideas can be said that they grow as well. Eric Butterworth tells us life for the whole person is a giving process. There are many channels through which your giving may be funneled. We are talking about attitudes toward life, the basic awareness that life is a matter of developing or unfolding from within. It's a giving process. So we can learn that this giving process is a way of life, given in love, given in service, given in other helpful ways, and it leads us to a life of security, more security. It leads us to deepening our faith in principle, because we then put into action, as you give, you shall receive. You know, one of the most often quoted verses in the New Testament, in the Christian Testament, is John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave. And I'm just going to end it there. He gave. This is how we show our love, is through our giving. And we activate this prosperity flow when we do so. Butterworth continues, in your spiritual quest, you are seeking to establish yourself with the divine, in a unitive relationship with the divine flow. You can never really achieve this level of consciousness until giving becomes the main thrust of your life. It is one of the most important keys of the prosperity law. So I think that is probably true, that we are, with our spiritual journey, seeking to experience oneness with God, with others, with all creation. We are seeking to experience that. But Butterworth is telling us here that unless we have that giving consciousness, it's not going to happen. You know, we may have been in the habit in our previous life of asking, when we were asked for something, mentally asking, well, what's in it for me? What do I get out of this? Whether it's our job asking us to do a little bit more, or a nonprofit asking us to support. But the law, the spiritual law, is unfailing. It is exact. Give and you shall receive. You know, a traveling preacher went to a small town to preach by invitation. And as he and his young son entered the church, he noticed an offering basket sitting there. So he reached in his pocket, grabbed $1, and put it in the basket. After the service was ended and the congregation had gone home, the host who had invited him said, "We're not a very prosperous church. All we can pay you is what was in the offering." And with that, he handed the traveling preacher $1. The visitor thanked him, and he and his son went on their way. The young boy said, "Gee, Dad, if you had put more in, you would have received more." This is the law of giving, okay? The more we give, the more we receive. If there is a lack of any kind in your life, whether it's financial, whether it's a lack of a wholeness, feeling that wellness, whether it's a lack of guidance, something is blocking the flow. And the way to unblock this flow is to give. It's like priming the pump. It is the most effective remedy. So look for some way to start giving, whether it's giving thanks, whether it's volunteering, whether it's doing something for your neighbor, whether it's cleaning your closet out and giving it all the things that you're not using to a charity. Give, and it will be given unto you. Give with the thought that you are participating in this divine flow. The divine flow only asks one thing of us, and that is that we are a willing channel to be that, to allow that flow to come through, to have that giving consciousness. Reverend Don Lansky tells us the act of giving is an affirmation of our ability to make a difference in the world. We're not giving to get anything back. We're giving to be in the flow of the universe, to be in balance, to be in conscious communion with God. I love this quote. The act of giving is an affirmation of our faith that, yes, we make a difference. We make a difference because we are giving. We make a difference with our neighbors, with our spiritual community, with our world. We make a difference because of our giving consciousness. You know, in the Christian tradition, tithing is taught. Tithing is taught as 1/10 of your gross income. That's the way it's taught. And it's given to a source that has spiritually nourished you. Now, this may be an uncomfortable thought, giving a tenth of my income? And it certainly makes a lot of people squirm. And some may wonder if the church developed this idea just to simply line their pockets. That's a valid concern. But you may be surprised to learn that tithing is, as a spiritual practice, designed for you, not for the church. The reward for giving is more to give. Tithing is an act of faith. It's not giving to receive, but it's saying, I have faith in this principle. It's not a magic formula to get more money, because the receiving end of giving, it may not be financial, it may be more love to give. However, it's being in the flow of life, that flow of giving and receiving. If you're seeking to change your life to one of more prosperity in any area, start giving. Malachi 3:10 tells us, bring the full tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and thereby put me to the test, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven for you and pour down for you an overflowing blessing. Oh, I love a challenge. I love a challenge. I want to put principle to the test on this one. You know, some form of tithing has been practiced almost universally throughout the ancient world: Babylonia, Egypt, Rome, China. Now, most of these tithings were really a tithe tax to the theocracy that ran the country, and they were an obligation. They were mandatory. But then Jesus came along and he introduced this idea of a consciousness of giving, giving as a choice, not out of obligation, but out of appreciation for your own spiritual journey. So tithing is not a law, but rather a training in a life of giving, holding a consciousness of giving. You know, bring the full tithes into the storehouse, for me, indicates every aspect of our life, tithing of our time, treasure, talent, every aspect. And prove this principle now. Prove the law in action, that as I give, I receive. So tithing is a great way to get into a giving consciousness, and I personally recommend it. I've been tithing for decades, but not out of obligation, out of appreciation. It helps us face the fears of lack that may be in our lives. It helps us develop our faith, to mature spiritually. And it's just one aspect. The financial is just one aspect of a giving consciousness. I will open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. Now, heaven, we understand, is not up there, right? It's a state of consciousness within us. Thus, the windows of heaven are within you. You are the window of heaven. You will be poured out as a blessing. And because you are in this flow of unlimited substance and committed to your giving practice, the blessing you become is up to any challenge you may face. The receiving is always a greater flow from within. A flow of love, a flow of guidance, a flow of ideas that produce great success. Give to give to give. This is a giving consciousness. So tithing is like a child learning to ride a bike. It's the training wheels so that we can move into a giving consciousness. This is not mandatory, but as a spiritual practice, I wanted to tell you about this because it's an important aspect of our growth. When police found Fred Barley, who was 19, living in a tent on the campus of Gordon State College in Barnesville, Georgia, they were ready to evict him. And then they heard Barley's story. He had ridden 6 hours on his little brother's bike, carrying all his possessions in order to get to school. He wanted to come early so he could find a job. He hadn't found a job yet. But he had packed in a duffel bag, a tent, 2 gallons of water, a box of cereal. He thought that would last him until he got his job. But he had no luck. And when the police officers heard his story, they were moved, and they decided to put him into a motel. And word spread, and soon donations started coming in of clothes, school supplies, funds to cover the motel. And he was even given a job at a pizzeria. And then there was Casey Blaney of Barnesville, who met Barley, and talked with him. And after spending some time with him, thought, gee, this young man has ridden 6 hours on a 20-inch little boy's bike in 100-degree weather. He is committed to his education. He's determined. So she began a GoFundMe page for him, and the funds collected reached over $184,000 that were put into an educational trust for him. This story I love, this true story I love, because it shows that when we're committed to an idea, the universe does in fact rush to support us. And also it shows that we have within us a generous nature. It's only fear that blocks that generosity. We know that fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. When we think that we don't have enough, that we're limited in any way, that's false evidence, because we are unlimited expressions of spirit. We are always connected to the source. We are always connected to the flow. It's only the blocks that we put that stop it. Dennis Merritt Jones tells us, give selflessly and with no agenda or no strings attached. When appropriate, give mindfully with compassion and non-judgment. But most importantly, give freely. This is the key to creating a life of wholeness. I invite you to join me in our affirmation today. Together, I give generously and I receive gratefully. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and move into a time of meditation. Go ahead and adjust your position as you like to get comfy. Let's begin by watching our breath. If you like the 4-7-8 breath pattern, which I've been sharing lately, I invite you to do that, or just notice the inhale and the exhale. The 4-7-8 is 4 inhale, count and hold for 7, exhale for 8. And as we continue to watch our breath, our bodies relax, our minds calm, we are open and receptive. I give generously and I receive gratefully. I have a generous heart. I let go of any blocks that are keeping me from expressing my true nature. I know that I live in an abundant world. I know that I am always in the flow of substance that manifests in my lives as my thoughts form it. I give generously and I receive gratefully. What has value in my life? Am I showing up to reflect what has value in my life? I invite the activity of spirit within for clear guidance now in any area that may feel blocked, and how I might give to release those blocks, how I might move into or allow that flow of giving and receiving to go forth unimpeded. As we move into a time of silence, I invite you to consider just being open to Spirit here and now. Affirming within, I give generously and I receive gratefully in all areas. And I am thankful in the silence. In the silence. As we bring our time of meditation to a close, I invite you to continue to sit restfully as Brett and Patty share another song with us. Let me. Thank you. Thank you. Let's join together in our prosperity affirmation. Together, I rejoice in the bounty of God, constantly manifesting as overflowing supply here and now. And our offertory prayer together. We affirm infinite abundance continuously flowing into and within this ministry through spirit, expressing through infinite channels. And we affirm the wisdom, understanding, and discernment in all matters as directed by spirit within. We bless the gifts that are received today, and we bless the givers, and so it is. And if you're watching virtually, I invite you to go to unityhagerstown.org and click the donate button if you'd like to support this ministry. Thank you. And now we have another song with Brent and Patty. Woo, love that song. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so we do have a few announcements going on. First, this coming Saturday is Adopt a Highway. And we could use a little bit more help in making the roads along here beautiful, letting the natural beauty of Washington County shine forth. So I have a sign-up sheet for anybody who may be interested. Just pass it around. Thank you so much. And then we have our dinner dance. This is our 15-year anniversary celebration, our second one, because we had one in September. This is a wonderful opportunity to come together and just have joyous fun. The menu is outstanding. You can see Ann if you'd like details on that. The band is shown here. I don't think the cat on the shoulder is going to be coming, but that's okay. And tickets can be found on Eventbrite, or you can also come, next Sunday or today and just let us know that you want to come and bring a check here instead of going through the Eventbrite page. That's fine. And then our women's retreat is coming up at the end of October. Bids are going fast. So if you're interested in coming, which I hope you are, please get your registration in. And then just to point out that we have been donated a beautiful quilt you may have seen as you entered the building here. This is a handmade quilt by a former member, and we're just going to do a silent auction on that, and we'll continue to take bids and throughout the dinner dance as well. So this Sunday and next Sunday, if you're interested. And there are 2 beautiful gift baskets that we've been donating to that we are doing a raffle on. So take advantage. You might get something great, right? I also wanted to give a thank you to everybody who helped at the Mind, Body, Spirit Fair, whether as a vendor or a volunteer. We certainly could not have done it without each and every one of you. A big shout out to January. She's not with us, but yes, she's not here. She's watching online, I hope. We love you. We certainly appreciate all you did to bring this Mind, Body, Spirit Fair here to this beautiful, beloved community yesterday. And it was a great event. We had a little bit less than what we normally do as far as foot traffic, but still, I think everybody who came enjoyed it. We had fabulous workshops and wonderful practitioners and vendors. So we'll do it again next year. And I also want to give a big thank you to Drew, because this is his last Sunday, our AV guy. Yes. For some reason, he thinks his education is more important than this job. We appreciate you, Drew, and that also brings me to the next point, is that we need volunteers to run the AV. Drew will be here today to show anybody who wants to know how to do this. It's pretty easy. He's got it all set up. You just basically come in, turn things on, and then, adjust the camera as needed. Well, there's probably a little bit more to it than that, but not much. Okay, because if I can do it, I know everyone here can do it. So please see me or Drew if you're interested in doing even just one Sunday a month. Okay, I think we're going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends, our YouTube friends, and just know that, I'm coming back to the daily word today of being kind. Be kind to yourself today, because you are worth it. Goodbye, my friends.